In this bulletin, Fiji records another COVID-19 death. CDC staff among 4 new cases. And Suva Nausori lockdown extended until Wednesday. Fiji has recorded another death from COVID-19, the second reported death from COVID-19 due to the current outbreak. A woman from the recent Makoi cluster was entered into intensive care after her condition began rapidly deteriorating. Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong says despite the best efforts of the physicians, she has passed away.
It serves as yet another painful reminder of the severity of the threat that we face. We are dealing with a virus that has claimed more than 3.7 million lives around the world. Many more Fijian lives could all too easily add to that sobering figure.
The 4 new cases of COVID-19 reported yesterday include 3 staff from Fiji CDC. As a result, the Fiji CDC has been sequestered, with staff on site placed in quarantine facilities. Testing has temporarily halted while decontamination is being completed at the lab. One of the positive cases is an administration staff of CDC who is from Makoi. According to Fiji CDC protocol, he was tested after returning from annual leave this week.
The next 2 cases were administrative staff at the Fiji CDC who had tested negative during routine testing earlier this week, but was positive as part of the contact tracing of this new case.
Dr. Fong says the investigation so far indicates this cluster originated outside of the Fiji CDC and the virus was then brought in. He adds apart from these 3 cases, all other staff have tested negative so far, including all of the laboratory and medical staff in the center. The 4th case is also from Makoi and presented to Oceania Hospital with symptoms.
At this early stage of the investigation, this case has no known links to any other case. The Oceania Hospital Outpatients Department was temporarily closed yesterday for contact tracing and decontamination. Anyone who potentially had contact with this case at the hospital has been quarantined.
The pandemic in Fiji right now is only a spark, according to Permanent Secretary for Health Dr. James Fong. But if the spark isn't quickly and aggressively extinguished, a tiny ember is all it takes to start a massive, uncontrollable wildfire that claims thousands of Fijian lives.
That's why we are taking very aggressive measures. Our goal is elimination. We must dedicate everything we have into putting this flame before it grows.
The Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says they believe the virus is still circulating in Nadi, Lautoka, Rakiraki, Lami and potentially throughout the rest of Viti Levu. He stressed that as such, outside of the lockdown zone, the borders of other containment areas will remain firmly in place for the foreseeable future. A lockdown of Suva and Nausori will begin at 11 tonight and end on Wednesday at 4 a.m. Dr. Fong is urging Fijians in the Suva and Nausori containment areas to make appropriate preparations for all-day stay-at-home order.
No one should leave their home. No businesses should be open except those that have been given explicit permission to operate. Movement for medical emergencies is the only movement that will be permitted for members of the public.
Dr. Fong adds food rations will be available during the later stages of the lockdown period for Fijians living within the Suva Nausori lockdown zone who have a genuine need for an emergency food supply. The Fiji Pine Limited Board has approved a dividend payout of $6 million for this financial year. In consultation with the Prime Minister, the board has also restricted both how and when the money is to be allocated. These changes with immediate effect have been put in place to provide relief to families struggling with the economic duress caused by COVID-19. The changes are that 100% of the amount will be distributed to the landowners through TLTB's equal distribution system, and the $6 million payout will be divided into 3 equal payments of $2 million each. Under normal circumstances, the dividend announcement is in August. Fiji Pine says this year, and in particular the past month, has been an exceptional difficulty time for Fijians. The Fiji National Provident Fund is introducing a short code and mobile numbers in an effort to minimize costs for its members. The short code 5857 and mobile phone contacts for both members and the employer helpline will go live from Monday. These new contact modes have been activated as part of the fund's business continuity plan to ensure services, while limited will continue to be available for key stakeholders. Competing in Major League Rugby has been an eye-opener for Olympic gold medal winning captain Ose Kulinisau.
Eye-opening to come to America and play in America. People here, they love sports, and although rugby is new here, but it's been a good way to experience the American life.
Judoka Tevita Takayawa is another athlete expected to join Team Fiji for the Tokyo Olympic Games this year. Japan-based Takayawa recently left for Paris, France to compete with the hope of qualifying for the Olympics. Kaiviti Silktails is trying its best to adapt to new rules introduced in International Rugby League, like the 6 again rule.
6 again rule, that would have been the biggest part to adjust to. But then, they brought in that rule to speed up the game over here in the NRL. Whether if NRL want to adapt those rule changes. I know they currently play with the international rules.
Cloudy periods with few showers are expected over most parts of the country today. The conditions will remain cool. And that's FBC Morning News. Join us at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. And remember, for news you can trust, get the facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news at fbcnews.com.fj. Take care and good morning.